question is really, why do we translate? Well, there might be many reasons why we want to do this. Obviously, if we all go abroad, we have a little go at the language when we're abroad, and all that little bit just helps that little bit more. So you might want to talk to your clients in a better way and open new opportunities for you. And that might be even translating your website through to some of the literature you do. There's lots of ways we can help to do that kind of thing. And also, some of the things that we do, or that you guys do, may have a legal requirement that you've got to do it. Just as an example, we do work for JCB, and they cannot sell a product without the documentation being in the right language. So they can have a machine sat on the quayside, and it can't go anywhere until their book arrives. And often we're the last people to get to know about it. So, in an essence, I guess, how hard can it be? The translation side, and what could possibly go wrong? Well, quite a few things have gone wrong for large corporates, smaller customers. This next chap went into a tattoo parlour. I thought he was getting something quite nice for his arm. Oh, no. And love, honour and obey was what he thought he was getting. But yet when he walked into the takeaway, it said, actually, at the end of the day, this is an ugly boy. So it did cost him 600 quid, a bit of embarrassment, and also it didn't do any good for the company. So, but it's not just those kind of people who it goes wrong for. Here's some of the bigger companies where they got it wrong as well. So you've just got to be a little bit careful. Just the little nuances of the language. You've got two words there, papa and papa, which mean exactly the same thing to us, but obviously in the language it means something completely different. So now we've got that bit out of the way, we can look at the sort of things that you do need to look about when we talk about translation. And there's quite a lot that goes into it. I had a guy that phoned me this afternoon when I was on the way in the car. He said, we want this doing into Spanish. So then we started reeling off, okay, well where are you going to use it? What are you going to use it for? Is it going on the web? And there's all these things thinking in the back of his head thinking, I don't know. So you start having to help educate the customer as to what they want. There's certain things like the dialect that you use. We had one customer, again, going back to the Spanish, and we said, well, do you want Brazilian or do you want Portuguese? So there's lots of different nuances with the languages that the translators really know about that you and I wouldn't necessarily pick up. But we have to ask these questions to make sure you're talking in the right way. And also the subjects that we talk about. We have translators who work for us, but they are very specific to the subject that they're talking about. So you don't get your medical translator translating about your hydraulic pump, as an example. So you and I, the word seal can mean one of it. Is it the seal that flaps? Is it the seal that goes on your car? Do you seal an envelope? There's lots of different things that you can do that will help us. But again, this is what the translators are there to do. And also things about how many words. People don't think about how many words. The way translators work is always by the 1,000 words. Do you want it proofread? There's lots of things where a client will say, oh, we've got someone who can do all this for you, but then you've got to help them plan ahead. If you want it proofread yourself, is someone else going to do it? So it's lots of things that you can get help with. So once you've decided that we need the translation doing, who can help you? Well, you've got your mate. You must know someone who speaks German, or someone's friend's mum's brother's sister's German, so he can do it. Someone in your own company, perhaps. Or you can use online translators or the professional company. And we'll touch on a bit of these coming through now. If you think about talking to your mate, get him to translate it, or someone else will do it for you, someone who you know, well, it might cost you a pint. But there again, you might know the bloke down the kebab shop, and he might be able to help you do a bit of translation. But you've got to ask yourself, would that be the right thing to do? Would it be right? Would the language that the translation always be right? As far as people in your own company, this is things we've come across before, where companies say, we'll have some work translated, but we've got our own people. We'll do it. Don't worry about it. Problems there become, are they the right people to do the job? Will they be doing the job 6 months down the line? So the things you've got to think about are consistency. And when you're talking to your customers, you want the same message, the same terminology going out, so that it's not disjointed all the way through. And we can help by using tools. There's certain tools that we can use, memory software again, which I'll touch on in a minute. And some people might see it as possibly as a cheaper option using your own people. But is it really the case? Are they going to do it when you want it to be done? Are they going to stick it to the bottom of their list? So little things like that have all got to add into the procedure you go through. Next one is possibly looking at things like badel fish. They're okay. Certain things will work. They're good for doing snippets of things, but they can be very literal translations. Some companies and clients will happily use them for maybe a basis and then get the job edited or taken on at a further level. I've had a bit of a play around with the Babelfish. I'm actually trying to learn Spanish at the moment, and we had to talk about something we liked. So I said about my football team, and they really are rubbish at the minute. And then... So you can see the literal thing of what happens is when you start. Now, actually, I've got to say, I kind of knew what the sentence was anyway when I was learning this, so I didn't really cheat by doing this. I thought there was a bit I wasn't sure on, so I went on to Babelfish and had a play with it. And I thought, well, if I stick it back in again, what's going to happen? And that's what came out. But in fact, the actual true translation is, if you can see it at the back there, is "Me gusta mirar el fútbol, mi equipo es el Liverpool, pero actualmente can son basura," which is actually right. And I actually wrote that myself, and my teacher taked it, so that was okay. But it just shows you the sort of things that can go on if you're not sure about it and if you don't check these things through. So we obviously promote that the natural way to go about any of your translation work is using a professional company who usually have a massive resource of translators who can help you. They're all very specialist in the areas that they do. And most importantly as well, they're all nationals as well. We have translators all over the world who work for us, from Israel down to Spain, up into France and Portugal. And you have to make sure that they are the natural speakers. We don't take anyone on who cannot translate in their own language. And they have to be very specialist. And they can also add extra bits to your language as you're translating as well. They can turn it around and say, well, actually, in this country we wouldn't say this. A lot of us have a habit of reading something and then literally translating it. Translators, they won't change the context completely, but they will put the spin on it and they will advise you as to what you need to do and what you need to write down to make it work for you. And they can offer the complete service. We use a lot of technology behind this and database information. Now, what this means is it doesn't automatically translate for you, but it does memorise what we do. So over time, you can use your translation over and over again. It's quite intelligent. We still have it checked and everything else by natural speakers, but it can save you money over time. So in summary, by sort of helping with using the professional service, we're here to take the pain away for all these things. As you get more involved, or we get more involved and we dig into projects, we like to get involved with people right at the beginning so that we can understand what's about, where you need to go. And without helping you on certain points of the way, it becomes very difficult and very disjointed. So we think that's where the value added comes, is actually speaking to people and helping you through the process. So I'll leave you with some other bits that have kind of gone wrong again, which are things that the literal translation, when you translate it again, hasn't worked either. But it's probably worth going to Bangkok. So again, we've seen things where we can actually help translate from the language back again, and watch out with some of it. We all have a laugh at the menus, don't we? We go to restaurants abroad when the things have been changed. But if you want to go to Rome, that's fine. And I think the best one is you don't go to Norway if you're pregnant. So hopefully that's given you an idea a bit more about translation and a bit of a giggle. So if anyone wants to ask any questions, please do, or please visit our website. But we're more than happy to talk to anyone. Thank you for your time.